Vlog time. Easy. Yes, this is going to work beautifully. I'm going to get my coffee, despite my old age and my brain being not very good anymore.
On February 14th, 2005, YouTube was born. By October 2006, Google had acquired it, launching the slogan, "Broadcast yourself." Then on May 19th, 2007, Steve Whitby created TheCarpCatcher, the original carp blogger. His immersive fishing stories captivated thousands and sparked something inside 13-year-old me. On March 8th, 2007, I made my first YouTube channel. By December 1st, 2008, I uploaded my first fishing-related video. Still inspired by TheCarpCatcher and growing more obsessed with fishing and cameras, I launched Nuffinbutfishing on January 29th, 2009. Now, fast forward to June 2025, I'm fishing alongside the man who not only inspired me, but set the benchmark for carp angling on YouTube.
Hints of Jason Hayward's special boilies. I don't know, really. It just smells like coffee. It's got a little bit of film on the top, which I'm not sure about. I'm drinking it.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm not going to offer you one. I didn't think you would want one.
Ellie.
Yeah, see, when that dries out, okay, that'll be fine.
Back in May 2007, Steve right here set up TheCarpCatcher, and just shy of 2 years later, you were the reason why I set up my channel. So on camera, I want to say thank you first and foremost for all of the entertainment, but also, genuinely without you starting that, I know we had this conversation last night, someone would have eventually, but you were the one that did, and you're the main reason that I started doing my own videos as well. I think we said 21 months later I set up my channel. How's that? So,
I do remember. I remember the early days. I remember you, yeah, I do. And like I say, I remember some of the stuff that you put out. I always knew that you were going to be good at it. You had the personality for it. You had the passion for it. Which
I appreciate that.
Know, what you need. I mean, you know, there's a lot of carp anglers out there that are extraordinarily good, like the ones that Martin was just talking about, you know. But even though they catch amazing fish, you know, to make films, it takes more than that. It takes more than just being a good angler. You need to be able to get across how you feel, the moment, you know, and draw people in. And
I think that's what your videos did really well, is that they were, I'm not saying unpolished, that's not sounding a harsh way, but they were raw, as in what you said to camera is what happened. Every time you turned the camera on, it was
that was on purpose.
Time you knew there was going to be a whole segment about what's happened. And as a teenager that hadn't started videos yet, I was immersed in it. Because it was around the time where if you wanted to watch fishing stuff, you had to, I remember borrowing a VHS of Passion for Angling off a mate, or the rod races when they came out on DVD eventually. Other than that, there was no easy access, just stacks of fishing content that there is now. And your videos was that access point. So many angles, not just myself. I'm sure the comment section will say similar, in that you could be immersed in fishing while sat at home watching a screen.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's always given me a great deal of pleasure, you know, and it's true, it keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know, the support that you get from people emailing you, commenting on your films, you know, and you know, over the years, I've had a lot of emails off of people, and some of them, I mean, there's one in particular that I remember. It was a very long email, and I read through it, and it was heartbreaking. You know, it was about this guy who got married, and they had a child, and after about 6 months, the child died, and that split their marriage up, and he was in a hell of a state, as you can imagine. I mean, that's a heart-wrenching story, you know. But he said that I started to watch your films, I got back into fishing again, and it helped heal me.
Yeah.
And he felt the need to write to me and say that, you know, I mean, that's incredibly humbling. And also, it makes you want to carry on. It makes you feel that, you know, you are doing something worthwhile. You're not just going fishing, but actually you're helping to improve people's lives.
Definitely. And I know that's when I get messages similar to, maybe not to that sort of story, but when people say you got them back into fishing or you entertain them through a difficult time in life, that's better than any comment saying nice fish, or as much as the comments are always welcome, seeing that you're actually helping someone out on such a personal level through something which, to me, I just go fishing, make videos, hope they come out all right. But to see them affect people's lives in that way, it's got to be. And for you to have done it for that long, I guess the next question is, will you be doing it again? So I have had some messages from people, knowing the amount of you saying, when's he going to do long vlogs
People
again?
are always asking me, you know, I mean, like it's when I just released the shorts recently, a lot of people are sort of going, you know, it's nice to have you back. It's nice to see you out there. And honestly, I mean, it really gets to you, you know. But unfortunately, I am 67. And I feel that, you know, it's a good time to sort of pull out a little bit, you know. I mean, if the chance came along, I may do it, but really I don't think that's where my life is now, because I'm retired. And retirement is a completely different rhythm. It changes your life. It's so different to anything else. I mean, before, you know, I was working all the hours and just, you know, working so hard to find the time to go fishing, like I said to you, when I fished the ooze, you know, I was going down at 5 in the morning, I was leaving at 12, I was going to work at 1, I was working till 9:30, coming home, going straight to bed, getting up in the morning, going fishing. I mean, you know,
amongst that, filming and editing it all, to sticking them out as well.
And all of that on top of it, I mean, it's actually a lot of work, you know. And you like to, you know, on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, you like, and YouTube, when people are leaving comments, I always like to like it or reply to it. I want people to know that I've read their comments. I mean, I read all the comments. I read all the emails, you know, and I reply to as many of them as I possibly can, you know. There's not many that I haven't replied to, you know, so...
I've got another question coming up in a second, which I will get you to answer. But I got down here yesterday, had a lovely barbecue, including your corn on the cob. Insert clip here.
Actually seeing TheCarpCatcher cook live. I think I burned them a little bit.
That his corn was on the cob, I think. I'm really looking forward to eating. It's not like I've just driven 4 hours for...
I'm glad you bought 4.
That's why I bought 4.
Right, I'm gonna stand next to the barbecue now. I'm not letting these ones down. I'll never live it.
Yeah, that's enough for me. The way you pick them. But also, then this morning we've come fishing. Now, where is it exactly we are right now? Because it's one of your locals.
Yeah, this is one of my local ponds. Well, this is one of me and Mr. Martin's local ponds. This is where we come to have a bit of fun. It's not too difficult, but it's difficult enough so that if you put in the effort, you can have a lot of fun and you can catch a few fish. So yeah, this is kind of, it's one of the, like I say, the few locals that's left where you can actually get a day ticket, where you can come down at any time and fish. You don't have to sign in, you don't have to sign out, you don't have to do this, there's no locked gates.
Yeah. I got a lodge, which is where I'm going to be staying for tonight. And it's been a productive day, to be fair, and different methods. We've also used your old school rod, which you probably saw in the little snippets in the intro. It's quite action-packed, so we'll fill you up to speed with what's gone on so far already. And there is still a rod out behind me which may go off. Well, Steve may be well known for his second coffees, but I'm pretty sure I'm becoming more known for my holy energy, and that's because they have supported the channel not only for this video, but for the last year, so a huge thank you to them. And if you're new to the channel or not heard of Holy before, where have you been? But also, it's a soft drink alternative to your horrible energy drinks off the shelf, which is typically full of sugar, taurine, and loads of nastiness, which I used to drink a lot of, and it used to make me feel pretty rubbish. This still gives me the caffeine I'm after, but doesn't have any sugar, doesn't add any taurine, no artificial colours or flavourings, and it still gives me that energy boost that I'm looking for. But don't just take my word for it, check out the website. Also, maybe pick up the Starter Set Deluxe, which comes with 42 flavourings of their best-selling energy drinks, iced teas and hydrations, and they couldn't be simpler to make. 500 ml of water, your chosen flavouring, shake it up and you're good to go. So if you want to get involved and save a bit of money in the process, use the codes you're seeing on your screen right now and use the link in the description and the pinned comment. MBF5 for £5 off your first order and MBF for 10% off all orders after that. Cheers, Oli. Let's get fishing again. Despite seeing signs of fish when we first got in our swim, that soon dried up. So we wound in and headed off around the lake in search of some opportunities. Should we do the simultaneous cast?
I think it's only fair. I've stolen the right hand side.
Right, where are they? Over there. They're all down there. Oh, right in front. Right in front. Yeah, you're going to have one. You're going to have one. Yeah. He's coming back. Oh. He's got to have that. That other one's going to have it. Yep. There you go. Yay. Ah, I didn't take you for a poacher, Steve, but that's exactly what you've done there.
I think it might be
cheating me up.
Do you reckon we get
We'll see.
This fish is really...
Oh, look how that line's landing.
Look at this rod.
Oh, I didn't have to try it several times, mind. Ooh, don't want to stab at it. He's in.
Oh,
Happy days. Don't leave me hanging.
happy days. I did rather poach that, didn't I?
I'm happy. It's a fish on the bank.
Blog time. I did rather poach it.
I'll let you off. Lovely fish. It wasn't poached. It was a team effort. I found the fish. I gave Steve the bit of bread. I let him have the right-hand side of the swim. I even let him have the first fish. So there we are. It was a team effort. All jokes aside, I desperately wanted one of my own off the top now, but they were proving rather difficult. But perseverance is something I have in my armoury, especially when it comes to surface fishing. And finally, I got my reward. Go on. Oh, he's coming back. Is that the same one?
You got him?
Yes. That looked like the same mouth. Redemption, maybe. He's off. Cool.
Cool, I was slow him.
Whoa, crikey.
Really, right?
Yeah. Good, he's taking himself back out a bit. Great fun.
It's a mirror.
Oh, was it? Are they not as common?
They're not very common in here now.
Nice. Then it's not the one I just saw, because it was a common that mugged me off.
Was it?
Yeah. Worth coming down to this swim then.
Oh, I thought so. That was a good cast.
Normally you get it just like a foot or two ahead of them on their path. Like you said, they just can't resist it.
Oof. Really going,
Yeah.
Here you are, a couple of minutes later, 2 flies.
Lovely fish. Looks quite old. He's done when he says he's done. Hey, buddy. Make your way through. Hey. Thank you.
Again.
You may have poached my first spot, but I've caught in the second.
I'm resenting being called a poacher here.
Vlog time. If you can't steal that phrase whilst you're sat next to the man, when can you? And we've had a...
That's a fiver, please.
You can have a low 5. And in the space of, I don't know, 20 minutes, we've had a fish each. Steve poached the fish from the first spot.
You keep saying that. Well,
And then we moved along to the next one where I thought they might have moved off. And this one was actually the second fish to try and take the bread. Where it just dropped on his nose, probably a foot or two ahead of where he was, walking then, swimming, and he couldn't resist. Let's believe quite a rare capture actually for here. Not many mirrors, you were telling me.
Yeah, there's only a handful, buddy. So letting one of those is nice.
Every days. Very
old fish as well.
You can see it's not pale, it's nice greys.
It's an old fish.
Dark scales on it. Try and get a bit closer for you. Very welcome on a pretty blustery yet still very warm day. Do you want to have a look, Fenton?
Fenris.
Fenris, not Fenton.
Right, I like that of him.
Right. Sure. Many more to come. Despite many more attempts to catch off the top, he just wasn't happening. So we headed back to our original swim where both of us had pre-baited before we left. Upon arriving back in the swim, it was clear there were a lot of fish feeding in front of me. It didn't take long.
Who is Sodo?
Hey. Are you going to see us? My old buddy?
Well done.
What take?
That's going to do it.
Well, after having my pants pulled down a couple of times since the last one I had, knocked it on the head for the surface fishing for a bit, came back to our swim for a bit of a rest. But as soon as we got back, my margin spot, which I baited up before we left, was just chocolate soup. It would have been rude not to drop a rod in, and I think it was in for 30 seconds. And this, another mirror, belted off. Beautiful fish. And let's keep it that way. Really happy with that one. Do you want to come round again, Steve?
Yeah, that was well charming.
Ooh, he didn't like you coming in.
So that's 2-1. I better catch a fish, even the score.
Although you said this morning, it's not a competition. Bragging rights are on the cards here. With the fish returned, we did finally get that rest we came back to the swim for, but it wasn't long until we were both itching for a bit more. Only this time, Steve really wanted me to catch on his old school setup. So before it goes out, what we're using?
I'll show you as soon as I've untangled it. So, this is a Mark IV Richard Walker split cane rod for carp fishing. It's about 60 years old, and this is a Garcia Mitchell 300, a French-made Mitchell. So, nice vintage reel with a nice vintage rod, and the rig's really straightforward. Hold on, let me just loosen that rubber because that's on a bit too much. There you go, perfect. So it's just basically 10 inches of 15-pound line, the hand sharpened size 8, 3 grains of sweet corn, and it just goes to a clip. And then you've got the 1 ounce flat lead, which I prefer, and then you've just got some Gardner leader, leadless leader, a couple of feet of that on the 15-pound line. And that's it. Real simple, real easy.
Now, is there anything I need to know in particular about using this reel?
This reel's a bit different because obviously it goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
When you do that, the line doesn't trap in the same way as what it normally would, because normally the line would come here and be trapped here, but it's actually trapped on the other side of the finger. And when you shut the bail arm, obviously sometimes it doesn't actually shut right, and you have to watch your line to make sure it's not. Well, yeah, so you just got to kind of like really be on the ball when you're using this kit, because
you're asking me to be on the ball, who's just rattled about 4 fish in a row.
It's not as easy to use, I guess, as the modern stuff, and obviously the modern stuff does the job in a certain way a lot better, but it's a lot of fun using this, you know. So the clutch is set fairly light, so you only need a little turn to make a big difference on it, you know. But yeah, these are the reels that we used back in 1980 when I first started. You weren't a proper carper if you didn't have a pair of Mitchell 300s. And yeah, so you're going to chuck this in then?
A little bit best when
carp.
We've seen some carp, which you'll be seeing on the left of your screen right now. So It's yeah, game on.
Going on, yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully. I think so.
Oh,
That's much on that. Big That's a good one. I could bit me.
Here he comes. Oh yes!
Well done, son.
Oh, the rod's still bouncing. Oh, that was awesome.
Enjoy that.
Oh, what did you go for? There we go. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was quick too, wasn't it?
As soon as he came in, Taylor and I was like, oh, this is it. Whew. Well, as you would have just saw, that bite was probably one of the quickest I've ever got, let alone getting on camera. I think I just counted 6 seconds, give or take a second either way, and this is the result. Pretty sure this is the fish that we saw coming in and taking the corn before I was fishing. He disappeared out swim, lowered it in, came back and just head dropped instantly. Hope I can fit him in frame. He's a long fish. Good old battle on a rod built in the 60s, did you say? Yeah. Gotta keep getting it wrong. So
1960s rod from the
channel.
1960s reel.
He's still not happy.
With modern methods, like
Modern methods.
slightly modern methods.
Well, it's young meat sold then, isn't it? Bit like this trip. What an awesome fish that is.
Well, that was a nice bit of angling, that was, buddy.
Before he jumps again, let's lay it down. I think I might get a still of this one. He's a lovely looking fish. You're now back from that sequence of us fishing, and the next question I wanted to ask was, back in 2007, what made you pick up the camera and start filming?
Well, the thing, people have asked me that question before, and usually the answer is this. When I first started carp fishing, I was obviously reading everything I possibly could. So Richard Walker, Pete Stone, you know, all the old anglers, Rod Hutchison, obviously, you know, people like that. And they always, they kept diaries. And so it was just part of fishing, keeping a fishing diary. I never showed you them actually at home. I forgot to show you them, but I've got a stack of diaries from the 80s, and literally it's like 2-inch twitch at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, 9 a.m., 5-inch lift, you know, because there was no bolt rigs, there was no hair rigs, there was no boilies, and there was only those crappy hooks that I showed you earlier. You know, yeah, what was the thread on that one?
What made you start doing it? Because I saw your...
So basically I kept diaries. So I remember sitting in my study one day, and I was talking to the kids about it, you know, about my fishing, and my son said, you should film it and put it on YouTube, Dad.
It was only a couple of years old at that point, wasn't it? Is it 2005, I want to say, YouTube started? So it's quite a new platform.
It wasn't, it'd been around a while. It'd been around a little while.
I think only a couple of years, you'll be surprised.
Not too long, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't really know anything about it. So I had a look into it, obviously, and I thought, yeah, all right. Because the great thing about it, for me, was I could just film everything as is, and then I could go back over the footage and pick stuff out. So it was kind of like a diary.
Yeah.
And the great other thing was that YouTube was going to store it all for me for free, which was even better, you know, so I didn't have to store, you know.
Well, I haven't said that I've seen your storage compartment backed up.
Although I did start...
Years of DVDs.
I started backing up and I've got this whole bookcase full of DVDs that are completely useless. Now, I mean, you know, I stopped doing that, like I say, what was it, 10 years ago I started backing them up, you know. I backed them up for like a good 8 years, 7-8 years, and yeah, I mean... Because you always think, oh, I should keep my footage because I might want to go back over it. Now, I could do that. And I have done. I have gone over some of those DVDs and lifted footage, but yeah, it's just a heck of a lot there, isn't there? It's just too much.
Are there set sessions or key moments in not just fishing, but the videos as well that you look back on as like a real high point of you're really proud of that?
Oh, yeah, quite a few of them, yeah.
What one in particular stand out? Because I always remember the River Cam.
Well, yeah, I
Lifting
mean,
up some of
everybody
those.
says the River Cam, and I think I completely agree with them. You know, I mean, the River Cam, but there are some, of course, that I didn't film. You know, I mean, when I fished Dickerson's Lake and I caught all the fish out of there, I didn't film any of it. You know, because I had to keep it hush
Yeah.
hush. Yeah, but I suppose really, 2008 for me was, like I say, I said earlier when we talked to Martin, that was my best year. You know, everywhere I went, I caught fish everywhere. And I fished like the Warpack, I fished Swavesley Lake, I fished Dickerson's Lake, I fished Willow Lake that year. And I was just, I don't know how many, I think I had way over 120-pound fish, and I don't know how many 30s, but I had a lot of rare fish as well, and difficult to catch ones too. So that was a pretty special year. So, but yeah, the River Cam would be probably the high point, and catching the linear, I think.
Yeah.
You know, the way I did it, you know, going down for a week, baiting the swim up, checking it, and then going down and just fishing for a few hours and one evening, and off the rod went, and it was the linear. Couldn't believe it.
Especially when all cool on camera as well. I think that's what I enjoy with the fact that I film, because like you have been for many years, not so much now. My camera bag is just as much part of my tackle box and my bait bucket. It always comes with me, and sometimes as a hindrance, you think I could just go fish without a camera. But there's always that big nag in my mind that it'll be that session that you wanted the cameras with, so they always come with me. It's always filmed. So are there any negative sides of filming that long, or any regrets you have for all the content you made? Do you think you've ever had the chance at the time where the filming held you back in a way?
Well, I don't really hold any regrets. I've thought about some things that I may regret, or I think I should perhaps, you know. But I mean, no, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff along the way, you know, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. But that's life. You can't really worry too much about things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I think overall I'm quite happy with how everything panned out.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Where did we talk about this last night over a very smoky fire pit to start with? It caught eventually, but where did Watcher and Blood Time come from? And that it just stuck. That became the key things. Hence why I've used it in today's video as well.
I mean, that's an old English derivation of "What good cheer are you?" and it became Watcher. My dad said it all the time, so that's where that come from. I picked it up from my father. Where he picked it up from, probably from his father, you know. And then a lot of the kids around my way used it as well. I wasn't the only one, so it wasn't uncommon to hear someone say "Watcher." You know, lots of us kids used it back in the day.
Yeah.
Blog Time, I don't know where that came from, to be honest.
Well, it's funny
with
because you just said Blog Time, and then it came with the wry smile. So every time I hear a Blog Time, it was normally followed with a wry smile, because you're on your knees in front of your unhooking mat, and something was there to be lifted up. So that became synonymous with the words Blog Time meant there's a fish in my mat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose, you know, I was doing a blog. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, second coffee. You know, that comes second breakfast from Lord of the Rings. I mean, I've stolen a few things, obviously, along the way.
I think top comment last night was second coffee and ginger latte. I'm not ginger, by the way, but we did chuckle to that one.
Was you ginger at one time?
It depends what the light's doing. Right now, I'm in the shade. That's not because I burn easily. It's because it's been
Well,
quite hot today.
being ginger. My daughter's a ginger, so I'm all for it. My mum was a ginger. You know, my brother's a ginger.
In which case, I'm happy to accept it on this occasion.
Yeah, so that's all right.
Is there any going forwards? I know you've said that you're kind of taking the pace off. Do you think there will ever be one last hurrah, maybe, that you think I will
never
film?
say never. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if someone said to me, "Hey, Steve, would you like to come and fish Savo?" I would say yes, and I would take my camera with me and I would blog it. I would film it, you know. That's probably the only famous sport I've ever wanted to fish.
Yeah.
And probably because of, you know, all the history behind it and the fact that that was of my time. You know, all the greats were then fishing Savo, Lenny, Middleton, Rod Hudson, Paisley, all that crew, you know, all of those people. And so yeah, I've always wanted to fish that. So if someone offered that, but I think it would have to be something I think really it would have to be not a one-off thing. It would have to be something that I could really get my head into.
Yeah.
That I could really start to sort of really target it. Really try and start figuring it out and sussing out how I can catch these fish. Because no matter what lake you go to, the fish are catchable. You've just got to find the method. And some people are extraordinarily good at that, far better than me. I know I'm okay an angler. I'm an okay angler. I'm no better or worse than the person next to me. But I do know that there's also, and I've met them, some people out there that just amaze me.
Yeah.
How good they are, But yeah, I think, I think it'd have to be probably a new water that I'd never fished before, that had some really lovely fish. Probably somewhere fairly quiet and not too busy, because I can't be doing with that anymore.
Well, I appreciate you massively for accepting. Because only a couple of weeks ago I messaged you and saying, fancy a session. Let's get a date and diary. And I think a couple of weeks later we're here doing it.
Yeah.
Why it's taking this long, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's been odd, but greatly fun, of course, being able to say fish next to each other, considering that all those years ago, not having ever owned a camera, suddenly we're both here doing it. And I know I said it before the start of this little interview thing, but it is because of you that I picked up a camera and we're here today doing this. So again, a massive thank you. We're going to continue chatting like this, I'm sure, for the rest of this session. Yeah, I'm a bit peeved that's not gone off, because the amount of fish in that margin,
I can't believe that rod hasn't gone off. I think we should put some sweet corn on.
Definitely. And I was great fun earlier using your old school rod and reel.
Yeah,
I think you hoped for a bit more drama with me fumbling with the reel, but that fish didn't give us any more than about 6 seconds
thankfully
to be
it didn't give
playing
me too much trouble, did it?
But it was great fun. Anyway, you're staying for a few more hours and back tomorrow morning where hopefully get a lot more fish together. Both completely baffled that my rod hadn't gone off, despite there being clear evidence of fish feeding, Steve grabbed his rod, a few grains of corn, and lowered it mere feet from my rig.
Wee, there you
go. Old school wins.
Yeah, good, lovely fish. He's in. Rudiers.
All right. You poached me again.
Told you the sweet corn was going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, how long was that in for?
5 minutes. Might have been in for 2 hours. Nah, about an hour or so, but yeah.
They're just not scared of the sweet corn back. I think boilies sometimes, they're so used to being caught on boilies. But when you go to a place like this, which is just sees boilies mostly, and you put in a bit of sweet corn, bang. Well,
proof's in the pudding. That couldn't be more conclusive. They were, what, 2 foot apart?
Yeah.
Yours have been in 5 minutes.
It's gone 5 minutes, yeah, so. I'm going to do that again if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Burgers are nearly ready.
It's nice and shiny, mate. Ends up. Look. I'm happy with that one.
Ah, it's gorgeous.
That's a lush one. That's a nice one. And it feels like 15, 16. It's probably about 14.
Who cares when they look like that?
There you go. Happy days, mate.
Mega.
Pleased with that one.
The action completely dried up after that fish, but we couldn't care less as we sat back, relaxed and soaked up the evening and chatted about all things, including our combined 34 years of YouTubing. Yes. What a lovely feeling at 5 AM. still fish out there. Come on, mate. I know you want to get to those reeds, but I lost her over there yesterday. Come on, come this way. Come this way. Come this way. Oh. Powerful fish. Really powerful fish. There. Do me a babber. Another mirror. Beautiful. Another lovely mirror. Into there. Well, I can't think of many better ways to start the morning. I was up nice and early filming the sunrise, doing my morning rounds of the lake, and saw some fish already on the surface where we caught some yesterday. So it was a no-brainer. Headed back to the swim, put the drone away, picked up the surface rod, and came back round with bread. Second cast, this one took it. Very, very welcome. I did actually have another fish last night, about 10:30 last night. One of my bottom rods went off. Tangled up with the other rod, got it in the net, unhooked, getting off so tired. I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring all the rods in, get a good few hours sleep, which I did. And I got up early this morning in the hopes that I'll be able to get an early morning bite, which is exactly what I've done. And another mirror. So I seem to be very fortunate that I'm getting through some of the more elusive mirrors on this place. Beautiful fish, really, really hard fighting, all of them have been. So what a start to the day. I already had one breakfast, but I believe that Steve's going to be here soon to cook me up second breakfast.
Yes, this is going to work beautifully. I'm going to get my coffee, despite my old age and my brain being not very good anymore. Honestly, don't get old. Do not get old. Was that a bleep?
It was.
Right under. Rod?
Right under. Yeah.
That's the other problem with having two sets of rods and two swims. You don't know. You're like this. I never look at the receiver.
Yeah.
I never look. It's in my pocket or it's somewhere in the.
You're a beep. You look at the rods.
Never look at the receiver to see. I remember Rob Farron getting a run down in the middle of the winter. We were down there together, and he had a rod in Lake 1. And I thought, why has he got a rod in Lake 1? Anyway, bite alarm went off, and I took his thing out. Carl was ringing me, looked at it, saw which rod it was, went over to the rod, and we counted 30. I hate him. It's that good. Yeah. So, if this works out, do you want one?
Comment section. Would you have a coffee straight through this town?
Jason Hayward's special pop-up gooey stuff, all right? The rest of it is just my hands and face. I haven't used it to wipe any other part of my body at all. Here we go. All right. Aha, you see, I've worked it out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's working. It's working. I once cooked, this is not a lie. This is not a lie. I once got to the wool pack in the morning on one of my early day sessions when the kids were little and I had to get them to school. Got down the pack, got my eggs and bacon out, couldn't wait for the breakfast. No frying pan. And I swear to God, I cooked my bacon and eggs on a spade. Yep, my army spade. You know the fold up spades that you get? One of them. Yep. Look at that, it's working, man. I'm a genius. Never give up, never give in. Where there's a will, there's a coffee.
What you guys haven't seen at home is his mood before he realised he could do this.
Shut up.
I got to bleep that because I get kids watching this.
Yeah. Oh, well, Mr. Nice Guy, TheCarpCatcher. Yeah, well, you know.
He's better with his coffee.
I'm the one that edits my films, remember? So, when things go wrong and I lose my rag, I don't tend to include that. But I'm gonna
I'm going to call that
an absolute success.
Hold on.
Oh, it smells so good. Lovely coffee. Mmm.
Hints of what?
Instant.
Hints of what?
Hints of what? Hints of Jason Hayward's special boilies. I don't know, really. It just smells like coffee. It's got a little bit of film on the top, which I'm not sure about. I'm drinking it.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I'm not going to offer you one. I think you would want one.
I mean,
yeah, see, when that dries out, okay, that'll be fine. I'll just be able to sprinkle that off and carry on using my towel as normal. That towel doesn't need a wash for at least another year. You know, I reckon.
well, enjoy your coffee.
Oh.
And then I think we're time to try and get another fish today.
Yeah, I think tidy you up, get sorted, go rounds with, I think, some sweet corn and some boilies, chopped up boilies and stuff. Salt a few swims, see if we can get something off the top, and then if not, we'll have a look in the swims. Yeah, we'll have a couple more fish this morning. No doubt, well, you will. I might just stand and watch and be your gilly, you know, and laugh. Yesterday was fun. I watched the footage.
Yeah.
I watched the footage last night. I can't believe how good yours is going to be, because you've got all these cameras everywhere and they record the previous 30 seconds, which I'm still trying to figure out how that actually happens. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive how you got that footage of that fish coming in and that. I mean, I was like pissing around, so I didn't even have my phone switched on to record it or anything. But the footage I got was pretty good.
No,
I think you'll be happy with. I think you'll be happy enough with it. You know, so I'll send you that if it's any good to you.
Right.
But yeah, that stalking of that nice big common that you caught over there, you can feel all the tension, you know, and the excitement between us. You know, there was a good buzz about that.
Yeah, 100%.
I thought the footage of that was really good, so I'm looking forward to sort of putting that together.
Definitely.
And chucking that up on the tube. Look at that dog of mine's dead, isn't he? He's absolutely...
Oh, we tired you up. Oh, sorry, buddy. Let me just fold that. Cover your eye. There you are. Have a good nap. Right, camera down. I hope one of those is off before we make a move. We pre-baited a good 6 or 7 different spots and tried them on the surface for a good few hours, but this day just seemed completely different to the previous. The fish were on edge, they were cagey, nothing we tried seemed to work. So no fairy tale ending, unfortunately. Well, I think that's a pretty good way to end it.
It's been fun.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me down.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah,
you know,
thank
I
you for...
I was going to do that there, but...
No, you got me back this morning. So at the very start of this trip, when we were loading the cars yesterday, your boot was open. I said, you know your boot's open? He's like, oh, I didn't. So I moved his unhooking mat, which had this old rod and reel in, and yeah, I got you good there. I actually felt a bit bad, but you got me back this morning.
I did.
Doing the classic, pulling on my bite alarm.
Funny as hell.
But yeah, thank you for the trip, and yeah, just thank you for all the content over the years.
Yeah.
And hopefully the comment section will encourage you to do maybe at least one more
Never say never,
long-term
mate.
vlog.
Never say never.
Till next time.
See you, buddy.
Thank you very much. Another beautiful mirror. Steve, oh, do you want to hold it?
No, you're all right. I just wanted to see how it looks on your camera. That's totally in the back.
Lovely.
That's not a bad mirror to hear, you know? No. They're old, small fish. I don't think they ever really put on a lot of weight, but...
Who cares when they go off like that and give the scraps they've been given?
Get it off, didn't